Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Thursday, the 12th day of March. This is CTV News. Tonight, layoffs and closures spark protests at a maritime university. A new deal for doctors. New Brunswick sweetens the pot to attract more physicians. And a reason to celebrate. 500 successful rescues, still going strong.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. Sizable job losses at a maritime university today. Acadia eliminated 31 positions in all, a response to increasingly challenging economic times. Students walked out in protest. CTV's Callum Smith has more.
It was a loud and at times tense protest put on by students.
I think it causes a lot of uncertainty and a lot of anxiety amongst our student body when so many people were let go so abruptly, and it's really disheartening, I feel as though, for our community.
31 positions were eliminated. The university says academic programs and teaching positions were not impacted. Students say staffing cuts impacted the Wong International Center, health promotion, and counseling staff. In a letter to students, the university says tuition freezes and declining enrollment due to recent international student caps have made it impossible to maintain our previous staffing levels.
It seems like we are second-class residents here at Acadia.
They plan to protest today to voice their concerns.
They cause so much distress to students, and it was time for such action to be taken. I have friends who were directly affected. I myself am directly affected by some of these services being completely shut down.
Officials told international students they won't fall through the cracks.
We know difficult decisions have to be made far and near. I think where so many of us take issue is that there wasn't student consultation. There wasn't any student input.
In a statement, Acadia says the difficult decisions reflect financial realities the university needs to address to remain, quote, strong and sustainable while continuing to serve students well. But those here say the institution missed the mark. Callum Smith, CTV News, Wolfville, Nova Scotia.
36-year-old Halifax man has been handed a 6-year prison term for manufacturing 3D firearms. Border Services says officers intercepted a parcel bound for Dartmouth in March of 2024 that contained a firearm part. Investigators worked together to conduct search warrants after the package was delivered, and Joseph Wayne Bowser was arrested and charged. The package had been shipped from China. A longtime Nova Scotia MLA says for the first time in her long political career, she no longer feels safe doing her job. Queen's MLA Kim Masland, who's also the Minister of Natural Resources and Emergency Management, says everything changed when a stranger showed up at her Halifax apartment one night. RCMP arrested the man, but Masland admits she was scared.
I panicked, I was scared, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I am 100 kilometers away and someone's trying to break into my home, my safe place.
When crime occurs, it doesn't just hurt the individual involved, it hurts the community and has far-reaching consequences.
The Premier hasn't ruled out increasing security for all MLAs. Meanwhile, RCMP have charged a Liverpool man with trespassing. He will appear in court at a later date. A busy blood collection clinic in Halifax unexpectedly closed early today and will remain closed tomorrow. The Bears Road Clinic shut down because of what the health authority called water-related issues, but didn't provide any details beyond telling CTV News they were waiting for a plumber to come to the site. In an email this evening, officials confirmed the facility would remain closed tomorrow, but patient appointments would be honored at other blood collection sites within HRM, or patients will have the option of rebooking for later on. And on the other side of the harbor, the abrupt closure of the Micmac Mall late this afternoon. Post on the doors noted this was because of a power outage. The lights reportedly went out around 1:15 p.m. Nova Scotia Power's outage map attributed the problem to underground equipment that had been damaged, with an estimated restoration time of midnight.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Turned out to be a kind of a rough morning for a lot of New Brunswickers thanks to a good dumping of snow and freezing rain. And it could be very similar again tomorrow. Kaylin will have those details coming up shortly, but first, here's CTV's Derek Haggett.
Commuters all over New Brunswick woke up to frozen vehicles, icy sidewalks, and slippery roads.
They were pretty bad. The buses were late, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes late, and the roads were bad. They were so poor, we had a hard time walking this morning.
Very, very slippery. I fell twice, and then it gives a bit of a headache. You could slip, fall, boom.
But some travelers managed to keep from falling.
Oh, not yet, because I had work cleats on this morning, but it was pretty icy, so everybody had a hard time walking this morning.
CTV meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell says much of New Brunswick received a few centimeters of ice pellets, followed by several hours of freezing rain. The resulting poor conditions closed schools. Many downtown Moncton sidewalks were covered in ice, making for a treacherous walk. Boots with cleats, the order of the day for those out getting a bit of exercise. Snow and ice pellets added up to 10 to 30 centimeters in some areas of the province. In Fredericton, road crews were able to more or less get a good handle of the roads and chipped away at de-icing sidewalks. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
The recent temperature fluctuations have made for some treacherous conditions on our region's lakes and rivers. There have, of course, been incidents of people falling through thin ice, which has prompted a broader warning. CTV's John McGuinness has more on that.
It's very unsafe at this point.
However, Paul Dion says rescues are often needed this time of year when temperatures warm up, but people think the ice is still safe.
Well, there's no such thing as safe ice right now with all the variables in temperature and wind and melting. The ice is old. Old ice is not safe ice.
Dion says accidents still happen. 2 men in their 70s went into the water yesterday while ice fishing in Belle Isle, Nova Scotia. One body has been recovered. Police say the search for the other man continues.
Yeah, we get some. Every other year we'll get a drowning or two.
According to Paul Dion, ice thickness should be about 15 centimeters before someone can safely venture out. He says we should double that thickness for larger groups. If you do fall through the ice, Dion says try to stay calm.
What will happen is you'll gasp in your cold water immersion and you'll lose your breath. But if you calm yourself down, get to the edge of the ice and try and kick your feet and roll out of the hole.
With daytime temperatures consistently above the freezing mark, Dion says all on-ice activities should be over for the year. Nova Scotia RCMP are also advising people to stay off lakes and rivers. Jonathan McGuinness, CTV News, Halifax.
It's looking more and more like trading cards are emerging as a hot commodity for thieves these days, who are getting increasingly brazen in stealing them. Police say a man smashed a display case at a Walmart store in Cole Harbour, grabbed some Pokemon cards. Turns out some of them can be quite valuable.
A lot of the stuff that you find now currently, Walmarts, etc., that's lower end stuff, so $100 and below. But some of the singles cards, especially older ones, are worth millions of dollars.
We had a similar robbery in the 900 block of Cole Harbour Road on February 2nd. In that instance as well, a man had entered the store, smashed a display case, and had stolen a number of trading cards.
This is a problem right across the country. In fact, thieves in BC stole about $30,000 worth of cards from a store in Abbotsford just last week. Could New Brunswick become a hotspot for doctors? The Holt government is hoping a new $270 million contract deal will attract more physicians to the province. CTV's Avery McRae has those details.
Our physicians were the worst paid in the country. The best way to bleed our system is to not increase their contracts.
But now the health minister feels this $270 million four-year deal with the New Brunswick Medical Society makes the province among the most desirable places for physicians to practice.
I believe that this contract is going to deliver exceptional value for New Brunswickers who have been waiting for a very long time to get access to primary care.
There are no hourly pay structures in the fee-for-service. Everything was kept on a performance basis, and physicians that will attach more patients and see more patients will see more economic benefit.
We need to be able to have the resources available to be there for our patients. We want to see them in a timely manner. We want to be there. We want to take as many patients as we can, but quality of care is important as well.
The signing of the contract comes a week before the Susan Holt government is set to reveal its second budget, which is anticipated to come in at a deficit of $1.3 billion. The Premier has said the province's #1 focus is healthcare, and time will tell what that could mean for other sectors in the province in this upcoming budget. Ava McCrae, CTV News, Fredericton.
Prince Edward Island is switching to twice-weekly price adjustments for gasoline. The province's Regulatory Appeals Commission says petroleum pricing adjustments will now happen on Tuesdays and Fridays at 12:01 a.m. That's until further notice. The Commission's website doesn't say why, but of course oil prices have been on a roller coaster ride since the war in Iran started up. Still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll take a look at the push to lower the age for colorectal cancer screening. Coming up next, though, secrets of Sable.
The Emmeline was carrying sugar and the Swift was carrying rum.
An old shipwreck is shedding some new light in a war that forever changed the course of this country. That's next. Stay with us.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Join us tomorrow at 8 for a special St. Patrick's edition of Foodie Friday.
And win your share of Aaron and Peter's $10,000 payroll. Join us tomorrow at 8 for that.
The graveyard of the Atlantic is offering up some secrets. Parks Canada archaeologists working on Sable Island have unearthed remnants of shipwreck that could shed light on a war centuries ago. Here's CTV's Stephanie Sikos.
It's a rare and stunning sight, a remarkably well-preserved shipwreck on Sable Island.
Oftentimes, we only see small fragments of these vessels come on shore, and it can be very hard to sort of put the big picture together. 200 years later now, we're starting to see that dune recede and expose it.
For nearly 2 weeks, a group of Parks Canada archaeologists excavated and documented several shipwrecks on the island.
The Barbados is thought to have been accompanying 3 other ships that were traveling from Bermuda up to Newfoundland in 1812. And out of the 4 ships, 3 of them all ran aground on Sable Island.
The Barbados was carrying a large amount of silver. The Emmeline was carrying sugar and the Swift was carrying rum.
Records show all but 1 person survived. While this dig happened last May, it has taken many months to examine the evidence. Sable Island is a unique place for archaeology due to its constantly changing shape.
We might see a piece of shipwreck that's exposed, and you can go back 2 weeks later and you can't see it or find it because it's buried with sand again.
Now work continues on piecing together the story of the shipwreck. Once the team was done with the dig, they covered the wreck back up in sand. A mystery solved, but once again buried. Stephanie Sikos, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Stephanie. We'll step aside for a quick little break right now, but when we return, it's your complete maritime weather forecast. The weekend just about upon us. Rainy night in Halifax. Kaylin's got all the details coming up next. Thursday evening, 12th day of March. It was a day of digging out for a sizable number of Maritimers around here. Quite a snow and freezing rain, hey?
Yeah, right up in the north of New Brunswick. Some of the northernmost communities, like, for example, in around the Campbellton area, a couple of reports of some snow and ice pellet amounts. It's holding near 30 centimeters. Much of the rest of New Brunswick picked up several hours of freezing rain from this weather system. Same thing goes for parts of Prince Edward Island, especially in the west of PEI, where there was a lot of ice accretion. And we're not done with it yet, because we have the cold front that's coming across the region for tonight. And there's still some rain along that front that is coming down steadiest tonight in the province of Nova Scotia. But as a northwest wind develops in behind the passage of that front, and that northwest wind brings colder air into the back side of that rain, it will turn it over to a period of some ice pellets and some snow. And that happens for Nova Scotia as we make our way through the rest of the night and into the start of the day for tomorrow, with that remaining mixture of ice pellets and snow clearing eastern areas of Nova Scotia by the time we get to around 10 a.m. in the morning. Now, the other thing that's happening is that temperatures are falling tonight. So there'll be some accumulation in the snow and the ice pellets, but there'll also be temperatures returning below freezing, and that means any wet or slushy surfaces could turn icy. Be careful about icy spots for the Friday morning commute around the entirety of the Maritime region. There's a look at those winds. So out of the northwest for tonight and for tomorrow, they really increased as far as the gusts go as we make our way into and through Friday afternoon. There'll be widespread wind gusts of 30 to 50 kilometers per hour in New Brunswick and western areas of Nova Scotia, with Prince Edward Island and eastern areas of Nova Scotia getting into some peak wind gusts of between 40 and 60. There's a look at the low temperatures for tonight, and this is the effect of that cold front going through. Most lows in the Maritimes will be falling a few to several degrees below zero. Even some colder temperatures in the northwestern half of New Brunswick, where some lows will fall between -8 and -12. And tomorrow, the temperatures stay a little bit colder. In northern areas of New Brunswick, the highs between -1 and -4, -6 at around Campbellton. Down through central and southern areas of New Brunswick, there's a few communities in the southwest get up to around +2, +3. Other areas, though, right around the freezing mark, including Fredericton and Moncton. Prince Edward Island for tomorrow, the afternoon high temperatures remain a few degrees below zero. So -2 there for Summerside and Charlottetown, -3 at St. Peter's Bay and Montague. In Cape Breton, the high temperatures tomorrow mostly between -2 and 0. Still with some flurries and ice pellets clearing through early in the morning. Be careful about slippery roads. Same thing goes for eastern areas of Nova Scotia. High temperatures tomorrow right around the freezing mark. -2 for Amherst, -1 for Truro. The city centers, Halifax and Dartmouth at +2 for tomorrow. Same thing goes for Upper Stewiacke, Chester and Lunenburg. Bridgewater, Liverpool and Shelburne tomorrow with high temperatures near 2 degrees, closer to 0 for Yarmouth. And in the Annapolis Valley, the high temperatures near +1. In the extended forecast, beginning with New Brunswick, snow on Saturday, and for southern parts of the province, it might be as much as 5 to 15 centimeters. Sunday night has a chance of seeing some snow, but it's snow turning over to rain during the day on Monday as temperatures warm up. That rain holding on into Tuesday of next week. That's followed by the return of some chillier temperatures and a mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday and Thursday. For Nova Scotia in the forecast, snow turning over to rain on Saturday. May it be initially as much as 5 to 10 centimeters, though, Saturday morning. A mix of sun and cloud for Sunday. The next weather system arriving late Monday to Tuesday. That one's rainy, and it's followed by a mix of sun and cloud Wednesday and Thursday. And for Prince Edward Island, some snow to get the weekend started on Saturday is followed by a chance of flurries on Sunday. The next weather system, temperatures rise with it, and it's mostly rain late Monday into Tuesday. A mix of sun and cloud follows for Wednesday and Thursday, Bruce.
A little bit on the gloomy side, but I guess we take what we can get at this point in the year.
Yeah, I mean, March, rain, drizzle, and fog, right?
For sure. All right, thank you, my friend. We'll step aside for just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. Be right back.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 Minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
So the Canadian Cancer Society is calling on provinces and territories to lower the starting age for colorectal cancer screening from 50 to 45. CTV's Hafsa Arif today met with some Atlantic Canadians who wish they had been screened sooner as well.
Just turned 48 at the time. I was active, healthy up until that point, and never would I have thought I would have had cancer. So it was quite a surprise, to say the least.
Foster had been feeling unwell for months. After a few tests, a blockage was revealed in her large intestine. She needed surgery. But it was after the operations she learned her diagnosis, stage 2 colon cancer.
Of course, I was still grieving my mom. I was trying to wrap my head around how that happened. I was trying to wrap my head around the fact that I was just recently diagnosed with cancer. But I thought, I have an opportunity here. I have been given a chance that not everyone is afforded.
Since then, Foster has been a voice, sharing her personal experience and advocating for early screening.
Younger and younger Canadians are being diagnosed with colorectal cancer. Someone under the age of 50 is 2 to 2.5 times more likely to be diagnosed with colorectal cancer compared to other generations.
The organization wants to see screening begin at 45 instead of 50.
I wish I had done it earlier.
For Wiley Butler, that wish comes from experience. After months of symptoms, he was also diagnosed at 48 at stage 3.
Had I done it earlier, I think I would have not run into the complications that I ran into, and consequently, I wouldn't have suffered as much as I did during the first while.
Hafsa Arif, CTV News.
Thank you, Hafsa. We'll step aside one last time tonight. Coming up, though, celebrating 500 successful pet rescues and still going strong. First, though, it is your wake-up weather. Here's a live look at Macadam, New Brunswick right now, -4. Stay with us. Kaylin Mitchell will tell you how to dress for the morning when we come back. It is now Friday morning. Let's kick it off with a look at the wake-up weather. And Kaylin.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for Friday morning around parts of the Maritimes is be careful about some slippery surfaces. There is going to be some accumulation after the rain turns over to some ice pellets and snow for parts of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island for tonight. Additionally, because temperatures are back below 0 Friday morning, there might be some icy spots just around the Maritimes in general. The afternoon will be a mix of sun and cloud. It'll be chilly. There's going to be a gusty northwest wind. Bruce.
All right, thank you, Kaylin. See you tomorrow. Well, a huge milestone for a national dog and cat rehoming service based in Dartmouth. CTV's Emma Convey has the details.
Inspired by my experience adopting my grandfather's cat, Mackenzie, when he passed away. She was 14 years old, grumpy, growly, and needed a home. And at the time, you know, shelters do amazing work, but there just wasn't a service that we could keep her in our home and then find her a second forever home.
Marceline, is it just you and me?
So she created one. My grandfather's cat launched May 18th, 2021 on her grandfather's birthday. In their first year, they got 41 cats adopted. Now it's 41 every few months.
I'm always gonna wanna make it move.
And earlier this month, on March 1st, the 500th adoption.
Tiny's 14 years old, and she is based just outside of Toronto now, but she had lived in Toronto with her senior human, and they were the very best of friends.
To hit 500 adoptions is incredible, especially from where the charity started. And just to witness it along the way and see everything ramp up is incredibly exciting.
In that moment when I was so overwhelmed, I closed my eyes and I pictured 500 cats in a room. And I was in a very tiny room, so it might have felt bigger than it actually was. But it was, yeah, I just truly imagining the impact and realizing the impact is just unbelievable.
Emma Convey, CTV News, Dartmouth.
Congratulations to all of them. They are doing fantastic work. Okay, that is your late news for this Thursday night, Friday morning. A reminder, if you joined us a little late, or maybe you'd like to take a closer look at something, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It's always your home for news. I'm Bruce Briscoe. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening. Hope to see you again tomorrow.